hard way. So, and what I mean by that is, so when we started homesteading, or when we were looking into homesteading, we decided to watch YouTube videos just like a lot of other people do, and other social media posts. And, we looked at it, and what we did is we did our research, we checked over a lot of things, and we realized that social media definitely glamorizes homesteading, especially for our generation. Well, what they don't talk about is all the hard ways to go about it. So we're talking about the money that you have to invest in the land. Now I know you can homestead on 1 acre, and you can homestead, yeah, hell, on a half acre. But to be profitable in any kind of way, you have to have a lot of acreage. And our goal was never to be really profitable as far as our garden, as far as all of that. We just wanted to slow down our lifestyle a little bit. We wanted to be able to feed our family fresh food, and we jumped into this not really knowing much. I don't come from a farming background. My wife doesn't come from a farming background. However, as we jumped into this, we realized, well, it's going to cost a little bit of money to do it. Well, we soon realized it's going to cost a lot of bit of money. And we went ahead, and last year we had purchased the property. We've cleared the land, and we didn't know things like, oh, the soil needs different nutrients, the different kinds of companion growing. We didn't know anything about that as well. So last year's garden, it turned out, but it wasn't anything huge. We had some tomatoes, we had some onions, but you know, not coming from being a farmer and not having a farming community around me in the beginning, we weren't really sure how to do this. So what did we do? We went ahead and we've met other farmers in the area. We've talked to people who are experts at this, and we realized our soil lacked the certain nutrients that you need, and we lacked the equipment to get going on it. So what we did is we ran out and bought a tractor. I've done a review on my tractor. You can check that out in another video. But anyway, we went ahead, got the tractor, and started the huge process of clearing the land. And that took way longer than I thought it would, mostly because there's a ton of autumn olive across here, because the land hasn't been worked in, oh, probably 60 years. We bought an old schoolhouse with 79.44 acres, and we decided to clean it up and see what would happen. Well, we got our garden tilled. We went through, and we thought we knew what we were doing right away. We, in fact, did not know what we were doing right away. But it was the glamorization of YouTube. Hi, thanks for joining us, or me. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. But anyway, we jumped right into this, not really knowing about farming, homesteading, but the glamorization from social media made it seem so easy. But you know what? It was not easy, in fact. As we were buying different plants and we were clearing up the land, we bought a grapple for our tractor. And yeah, we just started clearing and cutting and doing all kinds of stuff, not really having a headway on where we were going with this. We just started doing it. So, as you can realize, we were a little bit overwhelmed last year. I've never ran a tractor. So what I ended up doing was I bought the tractor, got it stuck in the mud. You can check that video out too. So I had to have a bunch of farmers come and help me get it out of the mud. I figured because it had four-wheel drive, it would just be fine. It was not fine. It stayed stuck in the swamp for 3 days. Once we got it out, I learned more about how to operate it, how to use it, and I got pretty decent at tilling. My wife tilled last year because, well, we had so much going on that I had to jump on and do a bunch of other stuff. Not to mention, we're trying to cut our own wood and take care of this old apple orchard, which is about I'd say 100 years old. Last time it was planted, I talked to some of the locals, and their grandparents used to walk through these fields and through these trails on this property. Their great-grandparents used to go to school in our old one-room schoolhouse. So, as the summer progressed, we thought that, we had a pretty good handle on it. I was operating the tractor just fine. I was pulling trees with the grapple and scooping up cut firewood. And I rolled over on a chunk of wood, and I blew out one of the oil filters. Well, if you've been with me for a long time, I have no problem jumping in and taking care of stuff. I'm very good with maintenance. I maintain my own motorcycle. I maintain cars, but I've never maintained a tractor. So, as I'm standing there, I shut the tractor off. As I'm standing there, I realized, hey, this thing's leaking oil all over the place. So I went ahead and I went down to my local Kubota dealership and I bought the oil, I bought the filters. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you. And I proceeded to check things out and figure out how exactly to change the oil, change the filter out. And, there's grease points on these things, which I had to learn about. But it's all been a learning curve. And for the glamorization of social media to sit there and tell somebody that they can go right ahead and jump right into this without any knowledge, they're lying. It's very difficult to get started. It's very difficult to maintain this. I have friends who have a 100-acre farm, and they've been around farming their whole life, and they make it seem really easy, where, we don't know the first thing about it. Right here, I just tilled my food plot for next hunting season. So this year, we know a little bit more about it, and we're gearing up to plant more vegetables. We're gearing up to, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We're gearing up to plant different things, but we still don't know everything about it. We really appreciate the support from everybody. It's been wonderful. The channel's been growing. I took a hiatus there for about a year and a half. I was going through some personal stuff, but I'm back at it. I'm posting content all the time. And if you guys know more about farming than I do, give me advice. I love it. I love having the open interaction. I love people jumping in the comments and giving their opinion on different things. So, if we don't know the answer to something, absolutely 100% trying to gain the knowledge. We're trying to learn from everybody else out there. But it's hard. It takes money, it takes time, it takes dedication. You have to learn your equipment, you have to learn the growing season, you have to learn your growing area, and all these things accumulate into a big mess at first. But once you get that down, it's not that bad. You can jump in and you can do these things just like anybody else. It's not going to look as glamorous as you see on TikTok or as you see on some of these other YouTube channels. They all have sponsors. We have no sponsors. Nobody is jumping in to the trenches with us except local friends, people that we've met in the last year, and some friends from a long time ago. They've been very helpful, very insightful, and you're just not going, your homestead's not going to look like it does on social media, not out of the gate. And I want to talk about the dirty end of it, the cost of it, the problems that you'll run into when you're first getting into this. And there's so much money that is involved, depending on the size of a homestead you want. Eventually we would like to see our kids take this place over and build it bigger than what we have. But, that's down the road, and that's if they want to. It doesn't have to be a generational farm. It's just a homestead. So I've had to learn over the past year to slow down, take my time with different things. I've had to learn to accept there's certain things that aren't going to get done in a day. Now, my background, I hard charge towards things. I'm constantly running at them. And I had to tell myself to slow down, that you're not going to complete these tasks in a day, because nothing is completed in a day, especially on a homestead. You know, we're all putting in long hours here. We're trying to heat our house with our own wood. And if anybody here's cut wood before or knows anything about it, you'll know that that's hard work. My kids get involved. My wife gets involved. We've had friends come and help. And we've been just working through everything as we go. I really appreciate you guys tuning into this live. I'm going to do more of these. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. Anyway, and then on top of that, what smacked us really hard this year was we got hit with an ice storm. And it's the biggest ice storm in 100 years in Michigan. And it decimated our woods and our neighbors, but it caused a lot more problems. We were 7 days without power. And you think you know what you're doing until you're actually doing it. You know, lucky for us, we came off of traveling. We had a generator to back up the electric to, take care of our food. But the ice storm completely destroyed our forest. So we had to go through, we had to cut trees. We're still cutting trees. My chainsaw just burnt up, in fact, and I have to get another chainsaw. So for those out there that are doing real homesteading, for those out there that are actually putting in the time, the effort, and they don't have sponsorship, they don't have monetization, this can get expensive, and it can get expensive fast. If you see through there, that's what the ice did. It snapped trees. It dropped a bunch of limbs on everything, and we still have cleanup to do. There's still storm cleanup. There's still all kinds of stuff that we have to do around here, all while we maintain raising children and trying to build a community around us, trying to build this new lifestyle. And anybody who said this stuff was easy, they're wrong. It's not easy. This place was a homestead about 100 years ago, and there's still remnants from it being an old homestead. You've got your old wagon wheels, which a lot of them are John Deere. You have your old harrow right there that they used to use. You got this button here. And this is all stuff that was left on this old homestead. So as we clear the forest, we clear a bunch of the invasive species, we're starting to find more stuff here. And, it's cool history. We've talked to a lot of the locals, and they've been able to give us a great deal of history on the property. And we've been finding different stuff, bottles, cans. We're finding all kinds of stuff here. But my advice for anybody who's trying to jump into this game is either you're going to jump right in or you're not. You have to have some form of money coming in. A lot of people talk about, get chickens right out of the gate and get 1,000 of them. Well, guess what? The price of eggs has gone back down. It'll go up and down and everything, and people do pay for farm fresh eggs. But a big problem with that is it's just not sustainable. By the time you're feeding them properly, you're letting them go ahead and free range, you build their shelter, the price of lumber is up. And I'm not trying to discourage anybody from trying to live this lifestyle. This was something we wanted to do and try out, and it's been working out for us. But it doesn't work out on its own. You have to put a lot of time, effort, hours, and there's a lot of struggles that come with it. We currently don't have any animals except our 2 dogs on this property. And I'm not sure if we're going to get animals or if we're going to just grow our 5-acre field and our 8-acre field down by the pond. We are pretty much just going to take these first few years and really see what we want to do with this. We're doing soil sample testing. We're going ahead and we're going to go through and see what the local community really needs. And we're going to keep our prices fair. We're not going to price gouge our neighbors, you know. But you do have to make a certain amount of money. That way, you can replenish seed, you can fix equipment, you can continue to grow. And it's really hard to do that when you don't have a huge support. And a lot of people don't talk about is relocation. We relocated to a completely different area when we found this property. We had no family and nobody else around here to really help us with this. So when we jumped into it, we just went, all right, let's go. We've got each other, we've got our kids, and we're gonna make a go of it. I'm an avid outdoorsman. If you've been with me for years, you know I do fly fishing, I do camping, I do traveling, I do all kinds of stuff. I don't do just one niche thing. But what owning this homestead has taught me is I have to take time away from other things that I enjoy doing to be able to focus time on this if I want it to be successful. And success looks different to different people. Oh, you just subscribed? I really appreciate that. Thank you. You know, so it's about time management, a lot of it, and it's about really enjoying being out here. And what I really like about this is it gives my kids, myself, and my family an opportunity to be hands-on with something, to build something that's going to last hopefully for generations, and really help the community if there's anything that people need. But it's not easy, and I've said that 1,000 times. So, you know, if you're considering it, look into it. See if it's right for you. If you have any questions, please reach out. Feel free to ask me anything. I'm pretty quick at responding. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys who tuned in. If you have any further questions, just ask. Don't forget to get out and explore the great outdoors.